Welcome to Android tutorial. We have in part 1 I have given brief introduction about dynamic fragment, and now see, go to the Android studio and how to code for it. And see, in dynamic fragments we have a screen. First it has to display only list view. Whenever I selected, I take the fragment and place it here. So for that I will go to the portrait mode, activity main. See here, in this layout, see this coordinated layout is for floating point button, so that is comes in the material design, so that leave it and we don't concentrate on that. If you just give this coordinated layout and floating point action, it will display floating point action. Nothing complex in that. So this layout is list view and frame layout. First I need to have a list view, as discussed. I need to have a list view, and initially I should not have anything, and I need to tell about this frame layout. This frame layout will allows the views to place on it. When you place another view, it will overlap on previous one, and if you place another view, we will overlap on the previous one. That is what we want. We place fragment 1 first, then we place fragment 2, overlapping. So this frame layout has a characteristics of the views overlapping. So no other layout will allows like this, and it's overlapping. That characteristic it has. So we need the frame layout. So, and initially I defined the list view here, and that frame layout I defined. Now I given as a gone, because initially I don't want to display anything, even small bit also. So I given as a visibility is gone. So when I list view is selected, I will give that visibility is visible, then it will be visible. Even it is not code it is gone, very less space, very just 2 lines will take that frame layout. Even 1 line it will take a frame layout. It's not display on the screen, but even that I don't want that, even 1 row there, so I given a gone here. So list view, frame layout. When a list view row is selected, I will place the fragment in this frame layout. See, remember this is the most useful scenario of fragments. Here this is for explaining purpose we are taking, and it is very small space here, so we don't prefer in this way in real-time projects, because very small space. But when you click on the list view, we tend to display more info, so this is not enough. So this is not practically an effective scenario, but for explaining purpose I have taken it. So this is a frame. So dynamically means we need to have a frame layout to place the fragment. That's it. And go to the activity, go to the main activity. This is main activity, and whenever the list view is selected, we come to the list view. In this list view, on click listener, and whenever the list view is selected, I am calling this method start amplitudes activity, and that view gives me the values on that row. So gives me the values on that row. Here When it is portrait mode, I am displaying dynamically. When it is landscape mode, I don't need to display dynamically here. I am not displaying dynamically because screen has to be in initial itself, screen has to be in splitted mode, otherwise it won't goods in tablets. And landscape mode, that has to be it has to be displayed first time itself with a splitted screen, so I am not touching that, and only portrait mode I am touching. So portrait mode I have given that frame layout and list view, and in landscape mode I will have a list view and fragment. That's it. I have list view and fragment because I am not making it a dynamic, because always I am in landscape mode should be like that only, splitted screen. So here list view and fragment, and in portrait mode I want dynamically place the fragment. So now I need to make difference here to the dynamic and static. So what is the difference? Fragment is not there in landscape mode, frame layout is not there in landscape mode, and frame layout is here in portrait mode. In portrait mode we define the frame layout, in landscape mode fragment is there. So for that, my frame layout ID is, okay, we'll see fragment ID is empty-tail.fragment r.id.empty-tail-fragment. Here at ID is landscape mode empty-tail.fragment, ID is fragment, empty-tail.fragment. So I check it whether it is there or not. If that resource ID is there, then says that is the landscape mode. If it is not there, that is portrait mode. In portrait mode we define frame layout. Here also we can check it like this. If it is, we can give the r.id.frame layout there. If frame layout is there, instead of this we can give like this also. If we can give the frame layout ID, if frame layout ID is there, portrait mode. If it is not there, landscape mode. So it's the most effective way of going this, rather than the previous tutorial. I was checking about the object of this fragment is created or not. You can check it, and that's fine. So here when landscape mode only object will be there for that fragment. When this in dynamic, both will be dynamic, both can be dynamic. In landscape also we can make it a dynamic, you can add it as a dynamic. Landscape also, even it is static, create the object for that fragment. And even here in frame layout we create object for the fragment. So there is no much difference between that and this. So it's better here, it is differentiate between the landscape and the portrait mode. We need to check for that differences. Here it is frame layout is there fragment is there, so I need to check for that fragment. If it is there, not null, I will call landscape mode, and landscape mode is static. I am just calling the fragment. When I call the fragment, this splitted screen will give, because it will have list view and fragment. And I am just, even at already row is inflated, I am just passing the data to that. But when it is not landscape mode, I need to have frame layout. As I discussed earlier, this is, I made it as gone. So what I do, I will make it as visible. How to make it? Set visibility v dot visible, and I am making sorry, I make it as a minimum weight is 300. Initially there is no, and I can give a weight also. Okay, I can give the weight also, but